And I'm 56.
And then start talking.
Deaf.
Well, we today was a simulated Tuesday in-season practice. So we started to work on Virginia today, and with that we decided on a quarterback. So before I tell you who it is, I'll just say this, that all three of those guys have competed their tails off. They've done everything we've asked them to do. And I'm talking about really from the start of winter when we got into our off-season workouts after the bowl, through spring practice, through summer camp up in San Bernardino, through the last couple days. Just so impressed with their character, their competitiveness, the way they've supported each other in a competition that you guys are tweeting over there. Look at, you're tweeting. Unbelievable.
Thanks for giving us the preamble.
But I really can't say enough about those three guys. But we decided as a staff and announced brought the quarterbacks in this morning, and Josh is going to be our starter versus Virginia. I want to say this about Jerry, because it kind of, I think we all recognize there at the end it came down to Josh and Jerry. And I just want to say that I don't know that you could find a better representative of what a student athlete is supposed to be than Jerry Neuheisel. I mean, he is the epitome of a UCLA Bruin. He loves this school. It's definitely important to him that he represent this school, his school, in a positive way. It was obviously a very difficult thing for him to hear, but he handled it very, very well. I know he's extremely disappointed. He's worked very, very hard. He's done everything we've asked him to do, and I have so much respect for him. This is a young man that we all love. I mean, I love Jerry. His teammates love him and respect him, and they trust him. Our staff loves him and trusts him and respects him. And, like I told Jerry this morning when I was delivering the disappointing news to him, kind of my hope is that someday, I can be sitting up in the Rose Bowl stands watching him as the head coach at UCLA, because I think that's probably one of his dreams. He wants to be here, and I think he's just everything that's good about college football. But we had to make a decision, and we made a decision to go with Josh, and we're excited about that decision. And we're looking forward to seeing him develop along with this team and this offense. As I've said many times, what's encouraging about our team is that we can run the football. We play good defense. We've got good receivers that have some size. Whoever was going to step into that starting position at quarterback wasn't going to be asked to bear too much of the burden offensively. It's a little bit different situation than when Brett Hundley took over. But we're excited about the direction we're going. And we just I felt, Noel felt, we felt as a staff that it was time to make that decision and go as we got ready to prepare for Virginia. So that's what we did.
What was the kind of thing that tipped the scales?
Chris, I can't say that there's one thing.
What were some of the things?
Well, there's a million things. You evaluate everything. As I've said, you evaluate every little thing. And I can't tell you that there's a checklist, but you watch guys, and when you've done it as long as we've done it, at some point it just becomes apparent to you. You get a gut feeling. You've seen enough. And you say, what, it's time to make that decision and let's go. So that's what we did.
Do you foresee being able to play Jerry in certain situations, or is it pretty much going to be Josh unless the game gets out of hand or things like that?
Josh is our starting quarterback. That's really is all I'm prepared to say. I've made it very, very clear that I'm a one quarterback type of coach. I like to put a guy in that position and support the heck out of him and help him have success and rally around him if he's struggling. And that's what I'll do. That's what this staff will do, and that's what this team will do. It's more than about just one guy. And like I said, fortunately we've got a good football team around him, and I'm excited about this football team.
It seemed like you guys tested him a lot with a lot of different pressure this fall. How do you think he performed under that, bunch of pressure?
I think he did well, and I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it was almost every period there was at least 30 to 40% pressure, and he's going against a really good defense every day. I mean, we can play defense, and I'm not saying we're going to be perfect and we're not going to give up some plays and some points, because we are. That's football these days in college, but at the same time, for all our quarterbacks, it was just a great test every day. I thought they all did well. I thought Josh handled the pressure better every day, and became less flustered and became more settled and had a better understanding of where the ball needed to go and how to get it there.
Today's practice specifically, did you see anything with Josh's demeanor, knowing that he's the guy now? Was it
No,
different
and
at
that's a
all,
good thing. Josh is very steady, as is Jerry, and as is Mike. You know, they're just very steady in their personalities. They're not up and down types of guys. You know, and Josh is, you know, when things go well or things don't go well, he's kind of the same guy. You know, and that's a very determined guy. That's a guy that has emotional stability. You know, and that's one of the things that's impressive about him. Besides his physical talent, it's his emotional makeup.
How did he react when you initially told him Josh?
Josh?
Yeah.
Casually, like you would think.
Yeah.
You know, not like, oh yeah, I knew that I had it. Obviously excited. I mean, he said, you know, can I go call my mom and dad? You know, and I said, absolutely. You know, his was a little easier than telling Jerry and Mike, obviously. You know, and especially Jerry. So
You wanted them all to compete and everything, but was there that hope that Josh would show up here ready?
well, I mean, you know, when you're recruiting the #1 ranked quarterback in the country, you kind of hope that, you know, he lives up to that billing. And now we haven't played one single snap of real football yet, but he, you know, at this point, he's living up to that billing. I can't say that we ever, you know, hoped one guy would rise above the other. We just hoped that somebody would present themselves as a starter and make it clear that it was time to make a decision.
Mike, I
That's
think
what
it's just
happened.
that you'd hoped he would have showed up with the ability to make that high school to college transition.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and he did. He has shown that. He has shown that ability. Now, I think we all have to keep this in mind. This is a true freshman that's going to go out and play some really good teams this year. And there's going to be some plays that are frustrating. There's going to be some plays that are dumbfounding. But there's also going to be some great plays. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see him develop through the year. He's got great coaches, great coaching. He's got great support from the other young men in his room. Most notably Jerry, who will be in his ear all the time helping him. And he's got a heck of a team around him. So I'm excited about it.
In terms of managing the team and everyone, they've obviously known Jerry for 3-4 years now. You know, Josh is a newcomer. Is that something you have to manage just in terms of naming a guy who's obviously a newcomer?
I don't think so. I think they have so much respect for Jerry, and I think they have a ton of respect for Josh too. You know, he's been here winter, spring, summer, so they know him. You know, it's not like he just showed up here 2-3 weeks ago. So him being an early admit has really helped. And I think what has happened is that over the course of the last few months that they've come to know him, like him, and respect him. Jerry, regardless if he's the starting quarterback or not, will always be a leader on this team. You know, kids gravitate towards him. I mean, heck, 2 or 3 years ago, I remember walking out on the field one day on a Saturday, not knowing the team was out there, and Jerry was out there playing country music, and everyone was dancing, and it was kind of, you know, his pants rolled up, and everything. Just he's got these innate leadership qualities about him, and I think that's going to help us and help our team, because they're going to see a guy in Jerry who they respect that respects this decision and does all he can to help this team, and I think it's going to make us stronger.
What are you looking to see out of Josh game one, kind of expectations?
I haven't gotten that far yet, I'm sorry.
Has the team voted on captains?
No,
How did you tell the team?
I didn't tell the team. I wouldn't tell the team if we made a switch at left guard or nose tackle or inside linebacker or corner. So I didn't tell them.
Go.
Got that second thing. You're thinking, all right, who's your outside linebacker? Finally tell us if that right outside linebacker
You guys know.
is gonna be.
I think you guys know who those guys are.
Okay, just
No, I just didn't think it's not. That's not how we do things here. You know, it's about team, and certainly that's a high-profile position, and it's an important decision. But that doesn't mean that you know have a team meeting and announce it to them. We don't do that for really much at all. It's about us, not that one single guy. And I think that's helped our culture develop into what it has developed into.
Did they kind of figure it out as practice went along?
I don't have any idea. I talked to one guy about it, and that was Jordan Payton. And I said, did you know I talked to the quarterbacks? And he said, yep. And that was the extent of it. So, you know, our guys are very focused on doing the best that they can do at their job, and I think that's a real positive sign. You know, they're going to worry about being the best they can be, not necessarily, you know, the periphery stuff going on or peripheral stuff going on around them.
So now we get Josh every day, right?
You do not. We will limit. As a matter of fact, might as well tell you right now, you're not going to get Josh at all. You'll get him tomorrow, and then you'll get him. He won't be your Monday guy like Brett was. That was different. You'll get the captains.
Come around Utah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know we play Virginia September 5th. You know? So
Where's that game at?
that's the Rose Bowl.
Okay, that's right.
12:35 kickoff thing.
My nephew's wedding's at 6, so make it quick.
So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Does announcing the decision now versus next week give Josh some time to just kind of acclimate to the media attention of being the starter?
Yeah, you know, I think Josh is pretty good at handling that stuff anyway. But yeah, I think it does. And I think, you know, I go back to what Bill Walsh always told me about these types of decisions is that the sooner that you can make it and let everybody acclimate to it, you know, the guy that's going to be the starter, get used to being the starter. The guys that are going to be in the huddle with him, get used to having him in the huddle. The guys that got told the disappointing news, settle into their role a little bit, you know, rather than create a distraction game week, you know, or hurt feelings game week, or have to work through emotional issues game week. Do it now, you know, so everybody can be a little bit more comfortable when we come back Monday to really, you know, really dig into our preparations for that first game.
That being said, did you consider not announcing it publicly though?
No, I mean, it would have got out, and I'd rather have an opportunity for you guys to ask questions and give you good, you know, well, give you my answers. I can't say they're good answers, but give you my answers. And I just, you know, and talking to Josh over here, Ray Donovan, it just felt like it was the best thing to do. So.
All right, on that note, thanks, guys.
Okay. Thanks.